Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. On today's video, we bought pretty much all the parts we need to turbo our 8th gen Honda Civic R18 model. Now, I wasn't gonna make this video, but I got almost every single piece of the turbo kit right in front of me here, so I wanted to share everything you guys need to turbo your cars if you're interested in that. All right, so let's go through everything here on the table. All right, we got a lot of money laying down on this table, but it's still a super budget build, and I've made a video of this unboxing for the most part in the beginning, but I'm gonna run you through it again and give you some more details of what happened so far, what I'm changing on the turbo setup and whatnot. Starting off with the turbo eBay turbocharger. This is a TB25 turbo, very small turbo, made in China, but it is from the brand Musa, and you know, hit or miss, I guess. It's a journal bearing turbo, 0.42 cold side, 0.49 hot side AR, and that's all you really have to know about that. It does have a built-in restrictor for the oil feed. I'll give you a better clip of that right now for those of you wondering. Originally, the wastegate that comes with these is an 8-pound wastegate. We don't want to run that much boost, so we got a Rev 9 wastegate that we modified over here. It should be running around 5 pounds of boost. Now, it's common for these things to boost creep because of the exhaust setup and the restrictive downpipes, so we did a few things here. On the hot side, we actually ported the whole wastegate flap over there. We made it a lot bigger than it was when it came with the turbo, so I'm happy with that. And as you guys can see, that flap is TIG welded right now. Initially, when it had play in it, it was giving us problems. We went to Chopper's shop, he took care of that. We got that TIG welded and it looks good, and this should be functioning properly. Now, as you guys can see, this is the manifold that I decided to go with. It's a bolt-on. This manifold will clear your AC compressor, so it is AC compressor friendly. Again, as you can see, it is restrictive, but hopefully with porting the wastegate here and making it more efficient with the lower boost pressure, I'm hoping it can reroute those exhaust gases out of the car really good and really quickly, so we have no issues. Again, the manifolds right here are the same brand as the turbocharger, Musa, whatever you want to call it. Now, going into the intercooler piping kit, we got the whole eBay R18 intercooler piping kit again, which came with an exhaust downpipe as well. This exhaust downpipe, we had to bore out these holes in order for it to fit into that primary downpipe. We took care of that, and we ordered the appropriate screws for that as well, because the screws it came with did not work. Now, as far as routing that intercooler piping, we test fitted this one time and it was a nightmare, so we ended up buying a few more couplers, right? These are 2.5 intercooler piping to 2-inch intercooler piping, and these work great. These are going to be for the intercooler. These two right here are going to be for the back door setup intercooler style. Now, mass airflow sensor, guys, I'm going to be running this in the charge pipe as a bypass mass airflow setup, right? You can either put this sensor pre-turbo or post-turbo. Initially, from my research, post-turbo, post-intercooler is your best bet. We do need the mass airflow sensor, guys, in our cars to read the temperature, because this one has a mass airflow sensor reading and temperature sensor reading. So I'm using this pipe as a charge pipe, and initially I was going to use this as a vacuum source, right, for my oil catch can here, but talking to some more people, this is actually going to be pressurized, and instead of this drawing air in to the intake manifold, it's actually going to be able to push air out. So I'm going to have to reroute my oil catch can. The setup I had planned is going to get changed a little bit. We're going to have to probably cap this off with a rubber cap, 1/2 inch, or just weld this together so we don't lose boost pressure. Now, blow off valve, Speed Daddy, 10-pound spring, eBay again. And we just recently picked up another 90, 2.5 inch to 2. So let's take a look at the difference. Just about the same right here between this one and this one, just a hair longer. So this is the pipe that's gonna go to my throttle body. We did a test fit a few weeks ago, and that's the setup I was going with. I was going with a 90 off of the throttle body. So I think that's gonna do it for the cold side. We might still have to mock up these pipes, might have to fabricate and cut them because it's not a direct bolt-on, and again, you have so many options to route your intercooler piping. It might not work for you, but you definitely have enough piping to probably make something work. I did have to buy 3 additional couplers, and these couplers are about 15 to 20 bucks each, so they're not that cheap. Now, as far as the PCV system, again, I'm doing a breather setup. I'm deleting the PCV valve, so I gotta open fitting for the PCV valve. It's gonna be deleted. Essentially, I'm running one hose from the PCV delete in here, another hose from my valve cover into here, and that's gonna be it. That's gonna be the setup. We're just gonna be dumping the pressure in here and venting it out. Now, again, initially I was gonna get another vacuum source, so I get vacuum from that pipe into here, but again, it's gonna be pressurizing the system with this vent, so we're gonna have to cut that out. And of course, we got other couplers that come with it, a couple clamps. We also do have a couple hoses, 1/2 inch here for the blow-off valve routing. We got 3/4 inch size piping here for the oil drain, stainless steel braided. And then we got a bunch of small piping here, tubing for the blow-off valve that we're gonna route into the intake manifold, and I'll show you guys where I'm routing all that. Again, a small bracket for the oil catch can. If you guys are not familiar, I also painted these 3 surfaces right here with a high temperature barbecue paint because these surfaces tend to rust and we don't want a rusty looking turbo. Now, as far as other things that just came in recently, and I wanted to share those with you, is my feed, my drain, tap, and whatnot. So the turbo drain, again, 3/4 size, the bigger the better, so you don't have any problems draining your oil. A lot of turbo leaks and burning start with drain lines that don't drain appropriately. So this is actually a drain line from Mamba Racing, very good, fits perfectly. Now with these turbos, you guys are gonna have to check the spacing between bolt to bolt, and I was doing a lot of research and trying to find a nice drain fitting that actually was appropriate for this size, and this is perfect. And this is perfect between 38 to 44 millimeters from bolt to bolt, and this fits like a charm, guys. I'm very happy with this purchase, no problems. So from bolt to bolt on that drain, you got 44 millimeters, just an FYI. Now we also picked up some bungs, right? This is going to be going to my oil pan. It's a big one too, so hopefully we have no issues draining the oil coming from this turbo into the oil pan. Now this is a 1/2 inch NTP, National Pipe Thread, 2 3/4 barb fitting. Now I picked up a bunch of these, as you can see, because one was about $8, but all 5 of these were 20 bucks, so no brainer to pick them up as a group, and they are stainless steel fittings, so that's really good. Now the fitting that's going to go onto the feed, right? You got an M12 by 1.5 pitch, I believe that's what it was. That's going to go on the turbo feed, and I initially had a few questions and issues because I wasn't sure. Let me show you guys here. Initially I wasn't sure how this is going to seal properly, but after doing some research and talking to a lot of people, what they recommended is just use a copper crush washer on top of this to crush this seal together so you don't have leaks. So that's exactly what we did. We picked up a crush washer set. Actually had to get a standard crush washer set, and the best size that fits is this 7/16 inch crush washer. This is a standard setup. It's so ironic because again, this is an M12 bottom piece right here, and when I went to the hardware store I got an M10 which didn't fit, and an M12, which is the same as this fitting, was way too big. So go with the standard setup, 7/16 inch. Again, I'm terrible with these numbers, but that's what works. That's the fitting that actually fits properly. When the time comes, you may just snug this in, tighten it down. If you want to use some Teflon tape, you may use some Teflon tape in there on the threads again. That's another thing that was recommended to me, right? My buddy, actually Chopper, told me to get yellow plumber's tape. Don't just get the regular plumber's tape, because it will disintegrate for oil fittings, right? So like this fitting on the turbo that sees oil, these oil T-taps, right? This one goes into the block, and then you got another 1/8 NTP to -3 fitting here for the feed. So anything on the NPT fittings, you want to use Teflon tape or Teflon paste, and this is the one you want to use. This is a PTFE thread seal tape, so this is gonna seal much better. It's high density, so hopefully that will eliminate some of the leaks. Now, to tap this plug into the oil pan, it's not going to be easy. I heard a lot of problems with tapping. A lot of people want me to drop the pan, but that's the problem. The pan drop on our cars takes forever. It's very painful. The AC brackets are connected to it and whatnot. So I'm just planning to tap the oil pan on the vehicle. So I got a tap here and a drill, so everything gets tapped appropriately. Now this is a 1/2 inch NPT tap, 14, and the drill bit I am using that actually came with the kit is a 23/32 high strength steel drill bit. Now this was about 10 bucks, 12 bucks, which is very cheap considering this is on the very low end of the spectrum cost for taps. A good tap just like this will cost you around $100 to $120. So I'm not sure even if this is high strength steel tap or if this one is just a carbon something tap. I'm really hoping this doesn't give us an issue tapping the oil pan, but again, we'll use definitely the Teflon, yellow Teflon sealer. We got some blue thread locker as well in case we need it again. These gaskets will come in handy. And as far as my oil feed, this is my oil line, 24 inch -3 to -3 straight fittings here, made in America according to the stamping here, so I'm pretty happy about that. I don't want to buy a cheap line. I'm really surprised how small that actual line is. I thought I was expecting something thicker, very small. And again, your oil T NPT fitting to the block, another NPT fitting to -3 for the oil supply. So essentially if your block is here, for example, it's going to get tapped here. Your original oil pressure sensor sending unit goes here, and then here we get our oil feed. And again, that's about it, guys. This is the bread and butter of the whole build. It takes a long time to buy all these things. Oh, and I'm missing the intercooler. The intercooler is already on the vehicle. I'll show you that right now. I got it mocked up. And my transmission cooler I also mocked up. So those two are already installed. I tried to pre-install a lot of things, so when the big day comes, I don't have to mess around with all these problems that will arise. I'll kind of have everything figured out. So hopefully this video helps you guys out. Hopefully it tells you in depth exactly what you need to do if you're looking to turbo your 8th gen Civic. This pretty much was months on end of research, of talking to people on forums, looking at other people's builds, seeing common problems, seeing what works, what doesn't work. And even then, through all that, problems do arise, little hiccups do arise, but it's nothing we can't handle right now. So I'm pretty much, again, at the end of the road here with buying everything for the Civic. As you can see, I got almost everything figured out. Now the biggest part will be installing it, making sure all those downpipe and turbo manifolds fit without any issues. Hopefully I can remove all the old components pretty smoothly. We'll see about that, and we'll play it by ear. This is, again, my first turbo kit install ever. I've never went this far on a car before. I was more of a, you know, intake, headers, exhaust kind of person. I've had experience with that, but we're going the whole 9 yards, guys. We already got the 310cc Civic Si injectors. We got Honda. We've been playing around tuning the car naturally aspirated for months now trying to adjust stuff using a mass airflow sensor tune and also a manifold absolute pressure sensor tune. So we do have some experience. Again, we're far from perfect. We're learning every single day, but at the end of it all, hopefully we get it running half decent on 5 pounds of boost. We don't blow the motor, the transmission is happy, and that will make my day. But again, thank you guys for watching, sincerely. Hopefully you're enjoying these videos. Make sure you subscribe to the channel to help me grow, because there's plenty of more content that will come out of this channel if we just increase that subscriber count, start bringing in more revenue. I'll walk you through builds that I will build in the future, because essentially this is just my baby build just to get my feet wet. I'd love to build fully built motors, stick shift of course, high horsepower, and just run it hard. But we'll see in due time, maybe that's all gonna happen. Anyway, follow me on Instagram, guys. I post a lot of pictures, videos there, stories of me tuning and whatnot. And again, I appreciate any comment, any thumbs up. It all means a lot and helps support the channel. So I'll catch everyone on the next video. Hopefully we get to install these puppies soon. Peace.
I ain't here for the money, I ain't here for the fame. Though it might be nice to own a jet plane, I'ma do it all for you. Come along and see it's true, but the world is pretty cold. You might need a sweater too. I'ma put a ride on ya. Kid from California, trying to make it in life. In school they never taught ya. Dreams of my own, I've been working from home. I can do it on my own, but sometimes it gets cold.